When it comes to tech giants, Apple and Samsung aren't just companies, they're powerhouses that shape the world we live in. But here's something that might surprise you. Did you know that Samsung makes more money from selling chips to Apple than it does from selling its own smartphones? That's right, Samsung's semiconductor division is so massive that it supplies critical components for its biggest rival. And while Apple is known for its sleek devices, its services segment, including the App Store and iCloud, now rakes in more than $80 billion annually. That's more than the GDP of some small countries. But the real question isn't just about who's bigger or richer. It's about where you should put your money. Apple and Samsung have very different strategies, and understanding these could be the key to making a smart investment. In this video, we'll dive deep into their history, innovation, and global reach. We'll uncover how Apple's tight ecosystem locks in customers and how Samsung's vast product range gives it an edge in emerging markets. We'll also explore the risks that could derail these giants and where their future bets are placed. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll have a clear idea of which company might be the better investment for you. Whether you're an Apple fan, a Samsung supporter, or just someone looking to make a smart investment, this comparison will give you the insights you need. Let's get started with the clash of these two tech titans. Chapter 1. Beyond the brand. Unpacking the legacy of giants. When we think of tech giants, Apple and Samsung are often the first names that come to mind. But beyond the shiny gadgets and sleek designs lies a deeper story, one that has shaped how these companies are perceived by investors today. Apple, founded in 1976, wasn't always the trillion-dollar company we know now. In fact, back in the late 90s, it was on the brink of bankruptcy. Steve Jobs' return in 1997 marked a turning point. With the launch of the iMac, Apple started its journey back to the top, showing that innovation and brand loyalty could pull a company out of the depths. Samsung, on the other hand, started much earlier, in 1938. What's interesting is that it didn't start as an electronics company. It was a trading company. It wasn't until the late 60s that Samsung entered the electronics industry. By the 90s, Samsung had transformed into a global leader, not just in electronics but also in various other sectors like construction and insurance. This diversification strategy helped Samsung weather economic storms better than many of its competitors. Today, Samsung's brand is synonymous with reliability, especially in emerging markets, where it holds a significant share. But what does this history mean for investors? It's not just about the past, it's about how these companies have built their reputations over time. Apple's brand is often associated with premium products and a loyal customer base. According to a 2022 survey by Statista, over 90% of iPhone users plan to stick with Apple for their next phone. This brand loyalty translates directly into financial stability. Samsung, on the other hand, has mastered the art of versatility. It doesn't just compete in the high-end market, it dominates the mid-range segment as well, especially in markets like India, where it has a 20% market share in the smartphone segment as of 2023. Investors often see Apple as a safe bet because of its consistent product launches and the halo effect of its ecosystem. On the other hand, Samsung's strength lies in its ability to adapt. It has a diversified portfolio that cushions it against downturns in specific sectors. Both companies have built legacies that make them appealing, but the strategies behind these legacies differ greatly. Understanding these differences is crucial for any investor looking to make an informed decision. Chapter 2. Innovation Wars. Who's really leading the tech frontier? Innovation is the lifeblood of the tech industry. Apple and Samsung both know this well, but they approach it in very different ways. Apple is often seen as a trailblazer, launching products that redefine entire markets. The iPhone, released in 2007, wasn't the first smartphone, but it was the first to make smartphones mainstream. A 2020 study by Gartner showed that Apple had a 14.8% share of the global smartphone market, but it earned over 50% of the industry's profits. This is a testament to Apple's ability to innovate and capture the high-end market. Samsung, however, takes a different approach. Instead of focusing on a few products, it casts a wide net. Samsung spends a staggering amount on research and development, over $19 billion in 2022 alone. This makes it one of the top spenders on R&D in the world. Samsung's strategy is to innovate across a broad range of products, from smartphones to home appliances to semiconductors. This approach allows Samsung to be a leader in multiple markets, but it also means that its innovations are often incremental rather than revolutionary. Yet, this incremental innovation strategy has its advantages. For example, Samsung was the first to launch a foldable smartphone, a product category that is still in its early stages but holds significant promise. While Apple has yet to enter this market, Samsung's early move has given it a head start. According to a report by Counterpoint Research, Samsung held a 74% share of the foldable smartphone market in 2023. This shows that while Apple focuses on perfecting a few products, Samsung is willing to experiment and take risks. But there's more to innovation than just new products. It's also about the customer experience. Apple's innovation strategy focuses heavily on creating a seamless ecosystem. The idea is that once you buy an Apple product, you're more likely to buy another because they all work so well together. This strategy has been incredibly successful, with Apple's services segment, including the App Store, iCloud, and Apple Music, growing by 16% year-over-year in 2023. Samsung, meanwhile, has been working on improving its ecosystem but hasn't quite reached Apple's level. However, its innovation in areas like 5G and smart home technology positions it well for the future. Samsung's SmartThings platform, for instance, is one of the most widely used smart home platforms globally, with over 100 million active users as of 2023. This positions Samsung to potentially lead in the next wave of tech innovation. In the end, both companies are leaders in innovation, but in very different ways. Apple's strength lies in creating products that people love and want to stay loyal to. Samsung excels in breadth, experimenting with new ideas across various markets. For investors, the choice between Apple and Samsung might come down to what kind of innovation you believe in, revolutionary or evolutionary. Chapter 3. Ecosystem Economics. The power of a loyal customer base. Apple and Samsung don't just sell devices, they've built entire ecosystems. These ecosystems are more than just a collection of products, they're strategic frameworks designed to keep customers coming back. Apple's ecosystem is perhaps the most famous. If you own an iPhone, you might also have an Apple Watch, a MacBook, or an iPad. These devices work seamlessly together, creating a walled garden where everything just clicks. This is no accident. Apple has spent years perfecting this integration, and it shows in the numbers. As of 2023, over 70% of Apple's revenue came from repeat customers, according to a report by Morgan Stanley. But why does this matter to investors? It's simple. A loyal customer is a reliable revenue stream. Apple's ecosystem makes it harder for customers to switch to another brand because they'd have to replace not just one device, but potentially all of them. This stickiness is a powerful financial strategy. According to the book, Hooked: How to Build Habit-Forming Products, by Nir Eyal, creating habits around a product increases user retention. Apple has done exactly that by making its devices and services indispensable. Samsung's approach to its ecosystem is a bit different. While it doesn't have the same level of integration as Apple, it has the advantage of flexibility. Samsung's ecosystem spans across more than just electronics, it includes home appliances, TVs, and even semiconductors. This breadth allows Samsung to tap into various parts of a consumer's life. For instance, Samsung's SmartThings platform, which connects all smart devices, had over 200 million installations by 2023. This network of connected devices gives Samsung a unique edge, particularly in the smart home market, which is expected to grow to $195 billion by 2025, according to Statista. What's particularly interesting about Samsung's ecosystem is how it caters to different market segments. While Apple largely targets the premium market, Samsung offers products across a wide range of price points. This strategy has helped Samsung capture significant market share in emerging markets. For example, in 2023, Samsung was the leading smartphone brand in Africa, with a 20% market share, according to IDC. This diversified ecosystem means that Samsung isn't just relying on one type of customer, making its revenue streams more resilient. Investors should take note of how these ecosystems affect long-term growth. Apple's focus on a tightly integrated, premium ecosystem drives high-margin sales, which is great for profitability. Samsung's more expansive, flexible ecosystem allows it to capture a broader market, making it a strong contender in multiple sectors. Both strategies have their merits, but they cater to different types of investors. If you're looking for consistency and high margins, Apple's ecosystem might appeal more. If you're interested in diversification and global reach, Samsung's approach could be more attractive. Chapter 4. The Global Grip, Market Penetration and Regional Dominance. When it comes to global market penetration, Apple and Samsung play very different games. Apple's strategy has always been to dominate the premium segment. It's a strategy that has worked incredibly well, especially in developed markets. In the United States, for example, Apple held a commanding 55% share of the smartphone market in 2023, according to Statista. This dominance in high-income markets is a big part of why Apple is the first company to hit a $3 trillion market capitalization. But Apple's global reach has its limits. In regions like Africa and Southeast Asia, where affordability is key, Apple's high prices have been a barrier. This is where Samsung shines. Samsung's strategy of offering a wide range of products at different price points has allowed it to capture a significant share in these emerging markets. In India, Samsung had a 20% market share in 2023, making it the top smartphone brand, according to IDC. This is no small feat in a market with over 1 billion potential customers. Samsung's success in emerging markets isn't just about low prices, it's also about understanding local needs. For example, Samsung's Make for India initiative tailors products specifically for the Indian market. This includes features like dual SIM cards and long battery life, which are crucial for Indian consumers. This localization strategy has been a key driver of Samsung's success in regions where Apple struggles to compete. However, Samsung's global strategy isn't without its challenges. While its broad product range helps it penetrate various markets, it also means Samsung has to compete on many fronts. In markets like China, where local brands like Xiaomi and Huawei dominate, Samsung has seen its market share decline. As of 2023, Samsung held less than 1% of the Chinese smartphone market, a stark contrast to its success in other regions, according to Canalys. This shows that while Samsung's global reach is impressive, it's not invincible. On the other hand, Apple's focus on the premium segment means it doesn't need to dominate every market to be successful. Its strategy relies on capturing the most lucrative segments in key regions. This is evident in its performance in North America and Europe, where high margins on iPhones, Macs, and services drive significant profits. According to a 2023 report by Strategy Analytics, Apple captured 75% of the global smartphone market's profits, despite having a much smaller market share in terms of units sold compared to Samsung. For investors, understanding these regional dynamics is crucial. Apple's strategy offers high returns in specific markets but comes with the risk of limited global penetration. Samsung's approach provides broad market access, which can be more stable but might not deliver the same high margins as Apple. The choice between these two strategies depends on your investment goals. Are you looking for high-margin growth in affluent markets, or do you prefer a more diversified approach with exposure to emerging economies? Help us grow by hitting that subscribe button and becoming part of our family.